In week 6, we'll be discussing forces attracting motion. So we'll be re-elaborating on vector fields and gravitational forces, such as like projectiles and non-contact forces that repeat in patterns and such. And this is a topic that I've never worked with before. I never have seen it in AP Physics or really anything of the sort. So it'll be something new, definitely something that I'll be spending a lot of time on, looking through YouTube videos and such. However, I've definitely seen it a little bit in class, such as the net force being, of course, the change of momentum over the change of time, or dp/dt, and stuff like that from Dr. Fenton will come in handy. But especially what I learned was like velocity and momentum work together proportionally in the same direction for projectiles. So motions such as a curve, like polar curve, as you'd see in calculus, is something I've never seen before in physics. So it'll be something I'll be spending a lot more time on. And similarly, I kind of saw that as a challenge if I would work with it through coding, because I'm not very strong in coding at all. And it's something I'll have to learn a little bit more about as I practice and as I complete next week's lab. Now, what I did think when I was watching the videos was the black hole coding was very interesting, and I kind of liked the idea of like a massive vector field, because that's something from Calculus 3 that I just thought was pretty interesting, about how you can have like a center of a vector field where all the vectors line up to attract something towards. And of course, black holes are still a little bit mysterious, so of course being interested in them is something that I guess is kind of cool. And what we've learned in class about this stuff is that the relationship of force and momentum can change through time. So applying the same momentum principle will definitely be simple and something that we were testing on in exam 1, so we can just move forward. And thinking about this in a biomedical engineering way as I'm sitting in the Bioquad before my class, is that I'm not fully sure how it applies, to be honest. I don't see how a repeated motion of non-contact forces can apply to stuff like prosthetic technologies, but possibly, and this is a topic that I'm not as strong on, is maybe in the cellular and molecular level of interactions between enzymes and chemicals, that there is something like that. And there is something with like electrical charges and the charges between atoms and ions within cells that create motions like that. And cells in the body may move in that pattern that I mentioned of like a polar curve through calculus. So that'll definitely be something that I keep in mind as I progress through BME courses. But as of right now, I don't have the understanding to know exactly what it's looking for.